Hey, what's up? It's BJ. George Clooney has been such a ladies' man his whole life. I mean, everyone knows his breakout was on ER. And he's been in so many movies, such a good actor. But we're going to get into a little bit of the magic at play here and some of the stuff he's involved in. So let's start with his Gematria. Clooney's, one of its big numbers, is 9889. As you can see, it has its inverse. And Amal Clooney, who is his new bride, if she is a female, which I'm not going to even get into that on this one, she matches perfectly when she becomes Amal Clooney. This is not her Gematria before. So it's really a match made perfect, and you'll see how the media knows this, and not only that, you'll see how they know it and practice it. So let's start with his new movie here. He's the star of the movie. It's being directed by Drew Barrymore, and Julia Roberts is one of the producers. So here we go. Money Monster can't buy happiness, but it's a 98-minute good time. And of course, he's the big star of it. Let's go into, so they know his number's 98. He's perfect for a 98-minute movie. And the 98th day of the year is April 8th, right? So what a better day to release the movie than on April 8th then. So you just see how they're 98 minutes, if you don't get it, but no, 98th day, they purposely release in the 98th day. It all affects the subconscious. George Clooney, we hear Clooney, we see 98. Then Amal here, I was amazed by how many articles got pounded out of this one. I guess because they're always so obsessed with women trying to be anorexic or looking skinny. But Amal, only 98 pounds. See, look, and here's where they include Almadon Clooney. Scary Wingin at 98 pounds. And this was blown up all over. And back to this picture you saw in the beginning. So this is another thing I noticed was really funny about George Clooney. Is obviously he's been around for a long time. But they made a really big deal about how he was an unknown actor in 1989. And you'll find it popped up all over the place, like, because it was like he didn't arrive on the scene till 1989. Perfect. And this is, I guess, what early career, and he was married to this woman. And, you know, I'm not even going to get into that stuff. 98 Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Now, this is by the Centrist, so my guess is this is part of, like, the subconscious programming. People don't realize it affects the subconscious mind. That's why you'll see, I'm not saying everything out there was purposely using, honestly knowing the numbers. I think some of it is coincidence. But so this is something I found funny. George Clooney developed his star power in Mason. And I've never heard that he's an actual Mason, but it's really interesting. He comes from a town called Mason. I wonder who would name it that. But they talk about how in this article he was raised to be a star because his mom and dad were already famous celebrities at a more local level. They weren't national celebrities. So I wouldn't doubt it for a second in a town of Mason, Clooney's daddy boy, you know, and wife was probably Eastern Star and he was probably Mason. I'm not even going to go into it because this isn't going crazy deep. And so this is another thing most people don't know, is that Clooney is a member on the Council of Foreign Relations. And if you don't know who these guys are, obvious globalists. Almost anybody that deals with connections with these guys should just automatically know what they're working with and for. And that just brought up, because half the time I spend making these videos is just pulling up the images and looking for the images I want to use. And the Israeli Council on Foreign Relations is a crazy, obviously we know Israel is the home of the Kabbalists, but here you can see the blatant Vesca Pisces. And also on top of that, anybody would be like, oh, well, that's the Illuminati, all sing aye. But no, you definitely see, so interesting. And then, just to show you, these guys practice magic, guys. The European Council on Foreign Relations, look at that. What would be the point of that logo? Yeah, if you don't know much about magic, just go into it further. But I'm going to do a bigger kind of number with Clooney. And I think they do this a lot with stars who's, they use reduction systems. It's really common. It's a common practice in Gematria. You find it used by several orders. Rosicrucians were well known for it. So, you'll find that George Clooney, his major name that he's always famous for, reduces to 11 several times. Which, of course, reduces to 2. So it's always going to reduce to 2 if he's at 11. But the 11 here is his major number. You can use it a lot more than you can use 2, and you can use it a lot more than you could use like 146 or 182 or 74. So obviously he was perfect for Ocean's 11. And let me just keep going here. All right, he gives a 1.1 million award. 11 movies that could have starred George Clooney. Oh, man. 11 of the funniest pranks or April Fool jokes from George Clooney to Ellen DeGeneres. And an interesting thing, I don't know if I have it on here. When he was on the Ellen show, he made some weird references using inverse numbers. And he literally said, it only took me 25 minutes to convince Amel or my proposal to Amel, or to convince her to marry me. It only took me 25 minutes. And that's not bad considering I'm 52. And this was if you follow the news when he was marrying her, that was a really big deal. They always number drop their age, and he really made a big point of how it took 25 minutes. But 11 characters, only the hottest man on George. It's ridiculous. Why they come up with these numbers for matching perfectly. And guys, if you don't believe me, try typing in a couple other numbers. Try typing in just Google search George Clooney 12, George Clooney 14, George Clooney 6. And you'll find that you might find one or two things relating. Because obviously the internet's huge and these guys are famous. They've been around for a while. But when you learn their actual gematria and the numbers that are big, you'll find it way more used and abused. And just the way they do it. 11 facts you may not know about George Clooney. 11 things we know about George Clooney and their wedding. It's so repetitive, it's ridiculous. Oh, here's what I was talking about, the 25 minutes proposal thing. Yeah, it's pretty... And then this was a thing that really... I tried to look into it, and I was having a really hard time figuring this out. When... if you remember when George Clooney threw the $353,000 Hillary Clinton fundraiser dinner, and all the Bernie fans were outside throwing money on the vehicles, and they were offering a $27 fundraiser dinner. So I was really just having a hard time looking into these, and honestly, I don't know, maybe this is just presumption, but the 353 obviously adds up to 11. So for George Clooney's 11, and it'd be weird if he did I'm sure they wanted it in a certain ballpark of money. He couldn't do $1.1 million fundraiser. That'd be way too obscene. And 11,000 just isn't enough for Hillary, because if you even just look at how much this lady pulls in. So you needed a higher number. You need something between a $250,000 or a $250,000 and a $500,000. And I don't know. That, like I said, I don't know. If anybody has any more information on that or why they feel like those numbers came up, let me know. Also, if you obviously this is part of the reduction system, goes to 11. But the 74 and I don't know what happened to this website, but if you find out let me see if I can refresh this. When he appeared on the Jimmy Kimmel Show, it was the 74th episode. Perfect time to have him on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. And I'm not saying maybe he's been on there before, but you find they do this all the time in show business. They match the episodes. Saturday Night Live does it, other people do it too. And then here's Charlie Rose, An Hour with George Clooney. I mean, I don't even know who that guy is, but episode 74. And like I said, it could be synchronicity, but when you follow the dates, they know, they plan these dates when they do a lot of this stuff. Oh, and then of course, Rosemary Clooney, his mother, a legendary pop singer, dies at 74. And this is what I said, he was born into the family. People don't realize, that's why I said, you know, like these towns, like wherever it is, Mason, Cincinnati, or this must be a suburb of Cincinnati, so Ohio. I don't know. Do your own research, look at your own thing, but you know these guys are playing with the big boys, what order they belong to, probably Eastern Star, or some other international order, and you know Amal has definitely the hookup. Her family is a well-known international family. And with that, I'll leave you with I hope you have a wonderful day. See ya, peace.